What's up? Of course, it's your boy Richie Rich at Consumer Appliance Support. You already know, man, we review appliances. Today we're going to focus on the GE Profile UltraFast washer and dryer combination. This appliance, man, is one of the top of the line GE appliances right now on the market. I'm super excited about reviewing this appliance to find out exactly what can it do. You know, we're going to break down this appliance. We're going to talk about the functions and the features. We're going to talk about the price, how much it's going to cost you. We're going to talk about the warranty, and of course we're going to talk about the parts, how much it's going to cost you to repair this appliance, if it's out of warranty, if you got to pay out of pocket, how much it's going to cost you on average as far as the repair costs, and individual parts that typically go bad and how much you're going to spend if you need to repair it. And overall, we're going to give you our review to let you know exactly how we feel about this appliance, man. So let's get started. No longer waiting. Let's go. Functions and the features. All right, man, let's get into this joint, man. Like we said, GE Profile unit. You can actually see this unit right now. It's a washer and dryer in one. All right, so you're getting everything that you need in this appliance. We're going to go into the owner's manual, so I'm going to just let this video roll so that you can see some of the functions, you can see some of the features, and know exactly what you're getting yourself into as far as the load pattern, fabric types, and all this good stuff. Optimized performance. It's an amazing machine to look at from what we can see. So I'm just going to stop there, dive into the owner's manual. All right, you already know, man, when we start this joint, man, you gotta always go inside the owner's manual, starting from the safety information. It breaks down exactly everything you need, using the combo, care and clean, installation, of course, troubleshooting tips, limited warranty, and consumer support. All right, again, always make sure you read the safety information just to be safe. All right, so if you want to stop it, or you can check this out, all this is going to be in the description box. All right, so let's get into the joints. Get started. It says load, getting started. No load transfer. It says start a load before work, before you go to bed, or any time. When you choose wash plus dry, your work is done. It says the combo will wash and then gently dry your garment in just a couple hours, so you can go about your business. All right, so this is the benefit of this appliance, man. It's only going to take a couple hours for it to wash and dry. As far as the technology and all-in-one unit, this is not nothing unique. This is not nothing new. I know LG had a product like this as well, but theirs take about 4 to 6 hours to wash and dry. But GE's telling you it's going to take about 2 hours or a couple hours to do so. All right, so that's one of the I would say one of the benefits of using this GE appliance, because it can do it in such a short time. All right, so let's talk about clothes. May feel a little damp when the dry cycle ends, but they're actually dry. All right, so this is couple things that I want to do, at least do some reading about this, or house cleaning a little bit, just so you know exactly what's going on. It says because your combo dries clothes at low heat in a sealed drum, they may feel slightly damp or cool on first touch. Just take them out and shake them out, and they will feel dry in a few seconds. All right, so that's one thing there. It says wash plus dry a load in just a couple hours. That's something that we talked about there. It said times may adjust before and during cycles. All right, easy access, dual stage lint filter ensures high efficiency airflow. We're going to talk about that. Simple to use with plenty of option. Explore all the features, and this is where we are at. All right, so number one, talking about turning the power on. 2, check the filter, both sides, so you want to make sure you do that. Select wash plus dry if desired. You can choose to run a wash or dry only. All right, so you do have that option. Manually dose or use smart dispense after filling with detergent or softener, so you have that option there. And a lot of appliances are starting to do the smart dispense, so you'll be able to do that on the fabric softener side, or even on your detergent side. All right, depending on how it's made. When it's ready, tap the start button. All right, so that's pretty simple. If desired, check the Smart HQ app on your phone for notification to adjust options. So you have different options, and it is a smart appliance as well. You can always enable it by using the QR code here, using your cell phone, scan it, and you'll be able to get all that information. All right, so let's get started. This is how the display looks. You have your washing, your sensing dry, heavy, tap, cold, low. These are the cycle settings. It says the display shows the cycle option selected, the appropriate time remaining until the end of the cycle, and the cycle status of wash and dry modes. Pre-washing, washing, rinsing, spinning, drying, complete. Note, this says the cycle time is affected by how long it takes the combo to fill based on the water pressure in your home. Cycle time also adjusted based on potential rebalances, which may be required to thoroughly spin out the wet load. And it says, and finally, for clothes with dry added, the combo will adjust the dryer time to achieve the desired final moisture content. It says if any out of balance condition is detected by the combo, the spin status light or spin option selection light will blink during the remaining portion of the cycle and will stay illuminated for a short time after cycle completion. It says when this occurs, the combo is taking action to correct the out of balance condition. Complete the cycle normally. In some cases, the combo may not be able to balance the load and spin up to full speed. If you notice the load is more wet than usual at the end of the wash portion of the cycle, redistribute the load evenly in the wash basket and run a rinse and dry cycle. Alright, so these are a couple of things that you want to be aware of. We're going to go into this as well and teach you how to really load the appliance and understanding the benefits of loading the appliance, because it can throw the machine off balance. As you read here, the machine is smart enough to detect if it's off balance. It's going to do its best to try to get everything back on balance. But if it cannot do that, your machine will let you know. The lights will be illuminated, and also you'll notice your clothes are still a little bit wet. Alright, because again, it's not going to spin at the speed that it needs to. So you just want to be careful when you're doing that. You might want to redistribute the load, and you can also select the rinse and dry cycle, and this is perfectly fine to do so. I don't want you to feel as though it's an issue with the appliance, it's not working up properly. Again, it could just been a user error issue. Yes, it could be an issue with the appliance, but for the appliance to be this new and you having issues like this is normally just getting familiar with it and understanding how it works and understanding how to load the clothes inside the washing machine as well. And you have different options that you can use at your disposal, so we suggest you use them. Alright, so let's talk about the light ring. Will show a single LED next to the cycle you have selected until you start the cycle. It will then show a representative countdown of the total cycle, with the left half in blue tracing the wash cycle and the right half in magenta tracing the dry cycle. In addition, the light ring may indicate action to remind you to perform maintenance, show signal completion, Wi-Fi setup, or warning message. Alright, so you got a couple things that you can see here as well. Wi-Fi, control lock, door, my settings, detergent with automatically dose from the smart display. You have the fabric softener with automatic dose from the smart dispenser. Alright, so this is how you can detect exactly the detergent dispenser according to the weight and soil level of the clothes and brand of product selected. You can adjust this feature to dose more or less detergent or turn it off to a manual dose. Alright, so it's up to you. Alright, so this is the great thing about this appliance. It's smart enough for you to be able to use it however you would like. And then you have the different options that you can choose from between the wash side and then of course the dry side as well. You also have washing options, dry options, smart dispense, smart softener, dispense softener, pre-wash, more water, remote start, extra rinse, drying options, times, de-wrinkle, wash complete, more dry, wrinkle care. Again, you have the normal, delicates, towels, bulky, sanitize with oxy, downloaded cycle, and that's something that I've noticed with LG first started that, and now this is something that GE is incorporating in their appliance as well, so we can talk about that. Active wear is probably talking about athletic wear, and when you go to the gym, when you work out. Quick cycle, you have your whites, rinse and dry, eco, cool, and self-clean. You also have your menu button, soil, temperature, and spin as well. Alright, so we're going to get into this appliance, man, so that we can make this thing work. Let's get it. Alright, power. So it says press to wake up the display. If the display is active, press to put the combo into standby off mode. Note, pressing power does not disconnect the appliance from the power supply. Alright, that's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Wash/dry. By default, the combo selects a complete wash and dry for each cycle. You can choose to run a wash only by deselecting the dry button. Vice versa, you can choose to run a dryer only cycle by deselecting the wash button. If you start a wash only cycle, you can always add dry prior to the completion of the cycle. Alright, so this is an awesome appliance. You can either wash or you can dry, right? You can do both. Alright, so this is awesome that you can just use it however. Typically I will probably assume most people will probably get just the one thing and just use it as one. You wouldn't want to buy an all-in-one and then you go buy a separate dryer to do either that or a washer. I mean, like I said, it's up to you, but I guess it defeats the purpose in my opinion for you to have this and then try to get another appliance. It doesn't make sense, but either way, it's up to you. Start and pause, you already know, press start the cycle. If the combo is running, pressing it once will pause the combo and unlock the door. It may take a few seconds for the door to unlock. After pressing pause, press it again to restart the cycle. And that's good to really know, because again, depending on the weight of the I wouldn't even say the weight, it's normally detected on the water inside the machine. So if there's too much water inside of the tub, depending on again what part of the cycle that it's in, for your safety, it does not want you to open the machine when it's filled up all the way with all that water inside the machine. Alright, so you just want to be careful with that. So if the combo is paused with the door open, the cycle is not restarted within 15 minutes, the current cycle will be canceled. If the combo is paused with the door closed and the cycle is not started within 24 hours, the current cycle will be canceled. In both cases, the combo will drain the water in the tub after the cycle is canceled. Alright, so that's a couple things there. Another smart appliance. A lot of appliances do this as well. If it's just sitting there idle and not being used and not being restarted, then of course it would just drain whatever water is inside the machine and just shut itself off. Alright, that's some of the great benefit of these appliances that's smart enough to even do those things. Alright, so the combo will perform automatic system checks after pressing the start button. Water will flow in 45 seconds or less. You may hear the door lock and unlock, the pump activate before water flows. And these are some of the things that I want customers to really get familiar with when you're using your appliance, man. Because not all the time it's gonna act like the one that you had before. These machines are smart enough to be able to react depending on the sensor that's on the motor and the motion that it makes as it senses the load. Before it starts adding water to it, it has to go through these different processes just to make sure that the machine is checking appropriately and checking correctly according to the sensors on the motor and the communication with the control board and the weight inside the machine, right? So if all this stuff or any one of these are off, then it's going to trigger an error code or message, or it's going to cause your machine not to work properly. All right, so these are things to think about. Cycles. The cycles are designed for specific types of wash loads. The chart below will help you match the item to be washed with the cycle settings. It's for optimal performance. Select the cycle that most closely matches the items being washed. Delay start and remote start is available on all cycles. Alright, so that's awesome thing. You can set it for hours on end if you want. You can delay start it for 10 hours from now. Then of course it starts on its own. Then you have your remote start that you can actually use and start the machine from your smartphone. It is so amazing that you can do some awesome things with your smartphone and this appliance as well. It says when dry is also selected, the combo will deliver a low temperature sensing dry for the garments in the load after it has completed a tailored wash cycle. The drying process for all cycles are similar to each other as they are for a dryer only option. All right, so before we go into different things, you have the different cycles, right? So I don't want to really get into the cycle modes, all this stuff we can wait for when it's time to go into the actual tub. Let's see some of the things. We got different settings. Individual settings for soil levels, soil, water temperature, spin speeds can be set from a minimum to a maximum. It says changes made using these buttons are shown in the LCD display just below the cycle time. It says these settings only apply to the wash portion of the cycle and have no impact on drying. It says your soil, change the soil level, increase or decrease. So these are certain things that you can actually use. The wash time to remove difficult amounts of soils. It says to change the soil level, press the soil level button until you have reached the desired settings. You can choose between extra light, extra normal, heavy, or extra heavy soil levels on most cycles. You got your different temperatures. All right, so you got the temperature settings. You got tap cold, warm, hot, or extra hot on most cycles. by design to protect fabrics. Not all wash temperatures are available for certain cycles, and again, some of these are pre-programmed cycles, so when the cycles are pre-programmed, you cannot use them. You cannot use all the options, and this is where this appliance is giving you a lot more. I've talked to this previously in different videos that we've done. Extra hot means your traditional hot. Right, it says extra hot will use 100% hot water from your water supply. The combo does not heat the water. All right, and that's the benefit of having this. You have extra hot, which is 100% hot. Your tap cold is 100% cold. Like we said before, your appliance is trying to save energy, trying to save time. So a lot of the hot, where it says hot and cold, is not extremely hot. It's a mixture of hot and cold. So it's a little bit above warm when it's hot, and it's out, and when it's cold, of course, it's a little bit below warm when it's cold. All right, so that's the best way to look at it. So it's going to have a mixture of both, unless you actually want tap or extra hot. It says these settings apply to the wash portions of the cycle only. The temperature settings select the water temperature in wash, and do not change the air temperature for dry. Then you have a pre-wash. Rinse water is always cold to help reduce energy usage. All right, so that note, the first 10 seconds of the wash fills is always cold. This feature assists in conditioning the fabrics and preventing stains from getting on garments. And that's one of the things, like I said, your machine is smart enough to know, depending on the fabric, you know, how it doesn't really want to damage your fabric or damage your clothes. So they're considering all these different things while your clothes is washing. And that's one of the things where I really like about these modern day appliances. Even though the older ones, in my opinion, last a lot longer because they're a lot bulkier, they're a lot bigger and a lot heavier. The newer ones are smart enough to say, hey, this is too heavy, I'm gonna give you a code. I'm gonna add cold water to the setting because we don't really want to mess up your fabric. We're going to use different water temperatures, again, not to mess up your fabric on your clothes, and protect it, because we understand how important some of our garments are. So you have so many different options, you sensing and different things that you can do. Remote start that's being added. Downloading your own cycle, however you like, your favorite cycles that you like to use. So you just got to press those. So you have so many different options that you can choose from when you're using these appliances. That's what makes them that much more better than the ones that we had previously. All right, so to change the spin speed, press the spin speed, which is no spin, low, medium, high, or max. All right, it says not available in certain cycles such as delicates and active wear. And these are things that you got to think about. If you're trying to have delicates clothes, then you don't really want to wear them out too much. You also have the it says note the combo will still do a spin if dry is requested on the wash cycle, in which no speed is selected. The combo features dynamic balancing technology system. This patented onboard sensing technology enables real-time balancing of the spin cycle for each load, saving time and providing a quiet wash. This should lead to more consistent wash times and or variable reduction in noise and vibration. If the combo should experience any excessive noise, vibration, or shaking, simply pause the combo, open the door, manually redistribute the load before restarting the cycle. All right, so that's some good awesome there. We can get into this dispenser, but I'm gonna really get into here. I think it's important to really talk about the cycles a little bit so you know exactly how to wash your clothes, where to put them at. So these are a couple things that we can look at as well. So I can dive into this, and then we're gonna, let you see the rest of the video. It says cycle continues, storing my settings, favorite options. All right, it says to save settings for any cycle, press and hold the cycle name after adjusting the combo to your desired options, and before you hit start. It says that will store your favorite settings, and you will see a heart icon at the top left on the display at the time and whenever that cycle is selected in the future. It says this will now be your store my setting for that cycle unless you choose to store new settings. All right, so that's just it. All right, cycle. Recommended items. All right, so it says cycle for normal, regular, typical use for washing or drying up to a full load of normal soiled cotton clothing. All right, let's talk about it. Washing. Energy Star certification is tested on the normal cycle, wash and wash only, swirl level default normal. All right, so this is what it is. Wash only. You will see the button that says wash only on the display. Note, energy dry certification is tested on normal cycle, sensor, and dry only. Alright, so that if you want to dry only. Energy savings will vary across loads and cycles. To be honest with you, I do not like this energy saving mode, especially on your dryer. When you're using your energy saving mode on any dryer, it does not heat up as hot as it needs to on a normal cycle. So there's times where you put a normal load on it and it doesn't get dry enough. So my suggestion is taking the energy saving mode off. Even though you want to save energy, the machine is already energy efficient anyway. But they're adding this feature, but in my opinion, it does no good. I've been to different customers' homes all the time where they're stating my dryer is not heating up. That's the first thing I check. Is it on energy saver mode? Because it does not put out enough power or heat to dry the clothes that's in there, because again, you have the energy saving mode selected. All right, so when we're talking about delicates, lingerie, special care fabrics with light soil, towels, sheets. So I'm gonna just pause this there. And I'm gonna just get to the video, because the video is gonna really get into the size of the appliance so you can be able to see that interior. So this is what the appliance look like. It looks amazing. Like I said, I like the color. They're probably gonna come in maybe, you know, different colors from here and there. So here's the cycle settings. This is exactly how it look when you're in the store, when you're looking at the appliance, or when you have it at home. All right, so I like the decal, I like the colors. It's big display, big enough for you to see everything. It's real simple, and that's one of the things I like about the appliance. I like things that are extremely simple for you to use. When you press a button, it reacts that way. When you hit start, it reacts that way. There's not a lot of force on the buttons that you got to keep pressing it. So as long as it's operating that way, it's smooth. It's not a lot of issues. I really, really like it. All right, so let that joint keep going. Like I said, we talked about all them settings there as well. I'm just gonna let this rock. 6-piece towel set, 2 hours 19 minutes. All right, it is a large capacity unit as well. All right, so you can wash 6 pieces of towels in 2 hours and 19 minutes. Like I said, that's pretty good in comparison to the other models that's out there that takes 4 to 6 hours to wash and dry. All right, so 10 pound of mixed load, an hour and 56 minutes. All right, so it depends. 1 king size comforter, 2 hours to 37 minutes. Like I said, that's not bad. It normally takes about that long for you to wash it and dry it anyway. So it's with the one product, one appliance that's doing the same thing, and it's good enough for space. And that's one of the things I want you to notice here as you're looking at the video. The space that you have, right, that you create just by having this one appliance. All right, and then it looks good. I like the way it looks. This is the interior of the unit. This is the tub, stainless steel drum, stainless steel tub. I know there's gonna probably be a problem if you need to get this repaired. As technicians, we're always looking at things of like, man, what happens if it breaks? Where it's located at makes a big difference. Also in the price and how you get stuff done. If it's difficult for a tech to pull it out, man, you're gonna pay for it, or you're gonna have to find somebody to pull it out in order for him to work on it. So yeah, I like that. I'm just let that sit. We just look at that. So let's dive into some of these cycles, right? So we talked about delicates earlier. You got your towels, right? This is your towel setting for sheets, pillowcases, and dish rags. All right, you got bulky bedding, which is your comforters, large coats, bedspread, mattress covers, sleeping bags, stuff like that. Sanitize with Oxy is a heavily soiled, color fast item with the need for sanitation. So it cannot be used for sensor dry only or time dry cycles. All right, that's one of the things you guys got to be careful with this Oxy stuff, man, because it does affect your clothes. I've had a customer that used Oxy for so long that when she stopped using it for a couple months, it started to have bleach stains on her clothes, and she has not used it. It was difficult for it to stop. I don't even know if it ended up stopping because we weren't able to fix it. Told her to use the clean cycle every couple weeks to help, but it still was just giving bleach stains, man. So you just got to be careful when you're doing stuff like that. Active wear, you're talking about medium to soil athletic wears for technical or synthetic fabrics. So you know, when you're working out and all that type of stuff, you got athletes in your home. For you parents and stuff like that, you know, that's the best cycle to use to wash your stuff. Quick cycle, small loads of lightly soiled items that are needed in a hurry. And when using a quick cycle, you gotta be careful with the load. Does not mean because it's a quick cycle it's a normal cycle, right? Because it doesn't handle the same weight. So you want to use small. Whites is whites and household linens, which is fine, pretty straightforward. Rinse and dry for items that need only to be rinsed and not washed. This cycle gives up 2 versions when dry is selected: rinse and dry, or drain and dry. With extra rinse is deselected. It gives you 2 additional versions when dry is deselected: rinse and spin and drain and spin. Alright, so you do have options to choose from. Eco Cool is a cycle for normal, regular, or typical use for washing up for a full load of normally sold cotton clothing. Downloaders says use the Smart HQ app to download a special cycle for combo. You got cycle for power clean. This is something that you gotta do all the time. Do the power clean setting, man. For heavily sold items which required extra cleaning power. Oh, I thought it was the self clean, my bad. So the power clean gives you more heavier clean. Alright, so that's pretty good, a really good option. I know they had it on the other appliances that they had as well. So I reviewed GE washing machines before, and they had a power clean setting. Jeans with minimum to light soil. Alright, so you want to be able to do that. Swimwear with medium to light soil. Airflow provides 15 minutes up to 4 hours if desired for tumbling time with recycled filtered air and no heat. Alright, so it's gonna spin, and the heating element is not gonna come on, but it's just gonna be an airflow, and you can do it for 4 hours. De-wrinkled and self-clean. This is a cycle designed to reduce wrinkles from a small load that is dry or slightly damp. Cleaning the basket of residue and odor. No clothes are to be washed using this cycle. Alright, so of course you want to take the clothes out, and you want to do this every 30 loads. I would say once a month. Alright, so you want to be able to clean the machine. Notes, it says the sanitize with oxy cycles water temperatures cannot be changed. The cycle, when using an oxy additive along with your detergent, is designed to remove 99% of bacteria found in home laundry. Measure the detergent and the oxy product carefully, using the amounts appropriate for a large heavy soil load in a front load unit. Follow the detergent and oxy product label instructions. Said the combo's hot water supply connection must provide a minimum of 120 degrees Fahrenheit to ensure the effectiveness of this cycle. Alright, the wash portion of the sanitize with oxy cycle has been designed and tested NFS protocol P172. Alright, available through download cycles. Alright, so if you look at the star, that's what that means. You can download these cycles. These cycles are added through the download cycle. Alright, and this is where we're talking about these cycle options, right? Going into what takes place here. Normal. Some of these cycles are already preset. Some of them you might be able to change. So I can just read this chart. It says the cycles are optimized for specific types of loads. The chart below will help you match the items to be laundered with the best cycle setting. Hope I pronounced that properly, but either way, keep it moving. For optimal performance, select the cycle that most closely matches the items in your load. Delay start and remote start is available on all cycles. Alright, so there you go. Wash settings. Alright, so you can always do that. And then you got your dry settings. Alright, so some of the dots is available settings. The star, of course, is available download setting, is something that we looked at. The circle, of course, here is available on wash plus dry, but not wash only. Then the double. So these are the factory default settings that you can look at as well. Right, not available when time dry is selected. Available on wash plus dry and wash only. Not available on sensor dry only or time dry only. Alright, so these are some of the settings that you got to look at. Alright, so awesome. We talked about the soil, we talked about the temperature. So we're gonna let the video rock, man, and see what we got. See what we got in this video. Like I said, we love the appliance wash plus dry. This is the door gasket. Again, you want to leave the door open. I thought GE would have had the fan on this particular one. The vent that they have with the fan on some of the models. But my suggestion, again, of course, you want to leave the door open and let fresh air hit the gasket. You do want to clean it, I would say once a month as you do the tub clean. You can use a mixture of bleach and water, or you can use some of the washing machine cleaner that you're using to help wipe around the gasket so it doesn't develop mold. So you want to do that. All right, so that is a good option there. All right, so like I'm pulling on it now. We do have a video on our YouTube channel, so check that video out to show you how to clean it. All right, so this is your dispenser and all this good old stuff here. So we can let that rock for a little bit. So you have the smart dispenser and you have the fabric softener. So you can see the options that you have there. It says smart dispense, fill up to 50 ounces of detergent. All right, so that's just where that is there. You lift up the top there like we did, pour it in there. You do have your liquid bleach and you have your fabric softener. So this is just like your manual setting on this side. All right, so then you have liquid detergent only. It says lip flap up for powder. All right, so if you have powder, then you have the softener, right? So you have the same softener, smart dispense as well. You just lift that up and put 32 ounces in there. All right, so we're gonna go to the owner's manual just to talk about this for a second. Smart dispenser detergent. This says when selected, this feature would automatically add detergent to the washer based on the load size, eliminating the need to add detergent for each load. So it does it for you automatically. That's why I said, man, this appliance got a lot going on for it. Multi-tapping this button will step through dosing levels of auto, more and less. It says levels are visualized on the LCD screen, and the LED indicator next to the button will be on and off. It says an off level shows off on the LCD, and LED indicator will be off. All right, it says the combo also have adaptive smart dispense capability through the Smart HQ app. So with this enhancement, you can select the specific type of detergent, and in addition to using load side information, it will adjust the dosage based on the detergent manufacturer's recommendation. All right, so we got smart dispense, which is, again, you got this great option. So when selecting this feature, will automatically add softener to the final rinse based on the load size, eliminating the need to add softener for each load. Multi-tapping this button will step through dosing levels of auto, more and less. All right, it says levels visualized on the LCD, and the LED indicator will be on and off. It says level shows off on LED, and LCD and LED indicator will be off. The combo also has adaptive smart dispense capability through the Smart HQ app. All right, so a lot of this stuff is through the app. You have pre-wash as well. Pre-wash is an extra wash before the main wash. All right, so use it for heavily soiled clothes or for clothes with a care label that's recommended pre-washing before washing. All right, you have different notes that you can read. It says detergent from pre-wash can only use detergent from the Smart Dispense detergent tank. All right, pre-wash must be selected prior to pressing start. So this is something that you want to do. The pre-wash feature will fill the combo. Adding the pre-wash detergent tumbles the clothes, drain, and spin. Note, in some special cycles, pre-wash is selected automatically as the default. You can add more water. It says this option adds up to approximately 3 gallons to wash and rinse portion of the cycle. It says if the option is selected before the cycle starts, the water will be added from the beginning of the cycle and later to the rinse if the option is selected during the wash portion. More water will be added at this point and later to the rinse. Likewise, if the more water option is selected after the wash portion has completed. The combo will add more water to the rinse only. If wash and rinse have completed, the more water button will no longer be active. All right, so that's something that I'm quite familiar with, in the sense of seeing it on other appliances, adding more water outside of the top load washing machines that allows you to do like a deep fill option. But this is, I guess, their version of doing a deep fill, because you can only fill it up so much with it being a front load washing machine. But that is a good option, because like I said, you want to feel as though your clothes is being washed properly, with the amount of water that you actually see that your clothes is mixed in as it's operating and spinning and washing as well. So you want to be able to see that. All right, so I like that feature. That stands out a lot. We talked about the remote start. It's a smart appliance as well. I've noticed that most customers do not use this feature. you know, most people just want their clothes to wash, but it is an added feature. It is an awesome feature that you can use, especially if you're upstairs and you got to deal with kids. I've had a customer that had the remote start option on her oven, and she loves it. She had 2 newborn kids, so as she was upstairs, she can preheat the oven, and whenever she can, you know, look at her phone and it's telling her it's preheated. There's so many options that she can do while she's upstairs maintaining and making sure that the babies are all right. So I did find a customer that really liked the remote start options. Even though that was on an oven, I'm sure if she was to get this, she'll love this as well. All right, extra rinse. It says this option allows for an extra rinse during a cycle to remove excess dirt and detergent from the soil loads. All right, so these are like washer options, control lock, right? Dry options, right? It says time dry. It says toggles off sensor dry. By default, the combo will always use the sensor dry function whenever dry is selected as part of a cycle. Sensor dry will end the drying cycle when the combo detects that your clothes are dry. You can choose to select a time dry instead. By selecting the time dry option, it says since you are choosing the exact drying time, the cycle will end at the prescribed time regardless of the dryness level of the load. All right, and that's what it is. That's the difference between time dry and sensing dry. Time dry, if it says 50 minutes, it's going to dry for 50 minutes. Sensing dry, you put it on 50 minutes. If it's done in 30, it's done in 30. If it's done in you set it for 50 and it's done in 30, then it's going to shut off for the 30 and not run the whole 50. All right, de-wrinkle feature is a dedicated 35-minute time dry cycle that introduce a small amount of water vapor onto the garments and use heat and high-speed air to assist the wrinkling the garments. It is designed for loads of 1 to 8 light to medium weight garments. All right, so it's not really a full load, but again, it's a good option to use, right? Your clothes don't get wrinkled. All right, so that's an amazing feature to use. Throw a shirt in there, you feel as though, you know, you don't really want to iron it or you don't want to get your shirt wrinkled. That's cool. Wash complete to let you know when the wash is done, to receive an audible alert at the machine via the smart HQ. So this is where your smart HQ is coming in. More dry, so select the option to extend the drying time by 20 minutes at the end of the sensor dry to achieve a greater degree of dryness of the load. You got your sound, you got your wrinkle care. Right, select this option to tumble clothes at the end of the cycle for a wash only cycle. The clothes will tumble intermittently for a period of 8 hours to keep the clothes fresher, less prone to setting in wrinkles. All right, so that's probably, you know, you got the de-wrinkle, but I would probably use the wrinkle. You know, you don't want to add the water to it if you don't want, and it goes up to 8 hours, so I'll probably use that. All right, so you got your light, right? The basket has a light and everything else. So this is your option. Using the combo, the detergent, softener, AI active to turn the feature on to enable certain AI features like adapting my sensing, or as other AI features become available. All right, animations, brightness, delay start, eco dry. So a lot of these different options are coming in when you're using the menu options. All right, so this is where it's at here. Wi-Fi connected, wash and dry times, low sound, English as far as the language, help, eco dry, delay start, brightness, animations, AI, softener, detergent. So these are a lot of your menu options that you can choose from and you have in this appliance. That's why I said this appliance is so loaded with stuff. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. All right, so let's let this rock for a second, man. Like I said, from the looks of it and the features on here, you already kind of know what grade we're giving it, but we're not going to give it out yet. So you got your filter here as well. Right, so you got multiple filters that you can use and clean out there. So I'm just going to show you guys about the filter so that you can actually see that. Right, pull that out. That's how you really do it. That's inside of the filter, right? So giving you exact look of what it looks like on the inside. I like that. Let me pause that for a second so I can see if I can get some information on that. All right, so right, we at the filter. Exterior, immediately wipe off any spills, wipe or dust spills and washing combos with damp clothes. Compound control panel and finishes may be damaged by some laundry pre-treated and stained. Removal products. It says interior, clean around the combo doors, opening, flex flexible gasket, including attached hoses and door glass. So these are certain things that you can do. Filter compartments and filters. So we showed you as far as inside the video that you can see the tab. You can press on the tab to remove it. One of the common issues that happens to dryers, man, is like when you're trying to use it, or the common issue as far as the primary reason why a dryer goes bad, or is heating element doesn't work, or it's not heating up properly. The number one issue is because it's clogged up with lint. So you want to make sure you remove that lint, clean the filter, clean the lint as often as you can. It says here you want to vacuum the lint, a filter from the frame inside the filter opening if you notice any change in your dryer performance. Like I said, it's like handing my hand over my mouth. You can't really hear me, right? Or you can't breathe if you have a mask on. That's the same exact way the dryer works. Causes your unit to overheat. The cycles are a lot shorter than what it needs to be. So if the cycles are shorter, then it allows it to run that much longer, and that's when you're going to have your issue, and that's when it could catch on fire. So you just want to be super careful with that. Alright, so as you can see, man, we're coming to the end of the video. We're coming to the end of the function and features. Couple things that you can look at is cleaning the pump and the filter. Alright, so you want to do that. So all of this is going to be in the owner's manual as well, and it's going to teach you how to clean the gasket, man. Alright, so of course you already know, man, I'm your boy Richie Rich. Functions and the features, man. This appliance is amazing when we're talking about functions and features, but we still got a lot of work to do in the lab, man. So hang in there with your boy. You already know I am out. Alright, so we're going to focus on the parts portion of this video. How much is going to cost you when this appliance is out of warranty and needs repair. Alright, so we're going to dive into this. Right now we're on GE website looking up this particular part. Some of the stuff might not have a good enough picture for you to see, but I'm hoping this will help you guys. For an example, our labor is typically 150 bucks, $60 for a helper if you happen to need one, and then a slight markup of the part to let you know exactly how much it's going to be. All right, so let's dive into this. So if you're looking at this particular unit, 150 is the actual dispenser. All right, so you got your dispenser, you got your this here is just normally the control panel. This might looks like the water valve, hose, and all that stuff that goes with the dispenser. All right, so let's get into that real quick. So if we're looking at 115, that's the control panel. That's this here. You're looking at $256.62 if you happen to need that. All right, so if you need that part to be replaced, we're talking about 150, 300. You're talking about at least 450 bucks. More than likely about 500 bucks, to be honest with you, to repair that control panel if you happen to need it. You have the Wi-Fi board in this particular appliance. Right now we're saying it's no longer available. Sometimes it might be on back order, so you want to consider that as well. Contact GE, they'll be able to help you. User interface board. This is how you respond to the board by pressing the buttons. So if you happen to need this and the buttons are not responding, is it a common issue for this to happen? I would say it happens occasionally. It's a button, so the more you press it, the more it wears out. It is a control or electronic, so that can have an impact on it as well. So when you're talking about $490 just for the part, man, so they're gonna probably run you about $600 for this part. I'm not even gonna lie to you, close to about 600. So let's make it an even number. Talking about 600, labor 150. You're talking about 750 bucks to replace that. All right. So let's see how much is the soap dispenser. So you have electronic magnetic valve, that's 140. Let me see if that's the water valve. Right, so the electronic magnetic valve, that's like 140. That's 8726. My apologies, 8726. So if you happen to need that, part is 150. Part is 150. I would say the labor 150. You're talking about 300 bucks. If you happen to need the soap dispenser assembly, remember, it's a smart dispenser, man, so this stuff is going to start costing you some money. If you happen to need the soap dispenser because it's leaking, it's malfunctioning, there's a shortage, you're talking about $365.80. So you're talking about for that soap dispenser alone, you're going to spend at least $400, labor $150, at least $550, man, to replace this dispenser. GE typically means generally expensive, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. It's gonna cost you some bread if you happen to need this to get replaced. Dispenser tank assembly, you're looking at $122.80 for that, $150 for that part, $150. Labor $150. You're talking about at least $300. All right, and that's $151. So let's go back to that actual picture here. So that's the inner portion, but you can get the whole entire assembly. So you get the whole assembly, you can get it piece by piece, and that's one of the, you can say the benefit of this. You can get it as an assembly, or you can get it piece by piece, depending on what it is that you need. All right, so it's not too bad. Let's see what else we got here. You got your front panel. Again, typically the front panels are fine. Not a lot of issues with front panels. You probably would need the door switch, something like that. Glass typically don't break on them, but if you happen to need it, that's a part as well. Most of the times, the biggest issue is probably going to be the door latch if that's a part that shorts out. All right, you're looking at 200. That is the panel, right? The dark slate panel. You're talking about 109.41. All right, not a common issue. Door assembly, that's 280. So let's look at that. 280. That's the front door, like the glass. Whew. 288.75. So you're talking about at least 350. Labor 150. You're talking about $500. All right. Let's see what else we got. You got your door lock. Door lock is not expensive. $43.05. $100 for the part. Labor 150. Talking about $250. All right, so like I said, that's the biggest issue is probably the door latch, door switch. It shorts out over time, stuff like that. But yeah, keep that in mind. Control, it says the cabinet and top panel. Typically this stuff is okay. You're dealing with control boards in here, so that's gonna cost you. You got drain pumps in here as well. All right, so when you see all this, let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that. Yeah, it's not, so let me move a little bit. Man, you got out where I needed you to be at. Alright, so you got control boards, drain pump, another board at the bottom there. That's normally the motor board. Motor boards go bad from time to time. It doesn't spin, doesn't agitate. Drain pumps get clogged up more than they get damaged. Typically they get damaged because the stuff that's in your pockets and they wear out. Control boards normally short out. Common issues, but that's like the last resort. So let's get into some of these parts. Our MC board, 174.30, right? So you're looking at that part, 200. Labor 150. Talking about $350. The IV board, that's number 32. That's like the main board, right? Right up in here is number 32, $456. So you're talking about at least $600, man, for that board. Labor 150. You're talking about $750 to replace this part. So these are the things that you want to consider when you're purchasing this appliance. I know it could be expensive. Check out the price portion of the video, but at the same time, to get it repaired, if you're dealing with electronics, it's going to cost you some money. It's going to cost you some bread, and most people are going to pay for it because it's cheaper than buying a new one. Main harness, $159.50. When you're replacing wire harnesses, depending on how detailed they are, if it's the whole entire harness to the whole thing, it's going to cost you some money. So I'm going to add an additional 60. You're talking about 210. Plus you're talking about a part that's probably 250, 210, 250. You're talking about 460, something like that. Close to 500 to replace the harness. All right, so let's get into this. Handler for the softener, 3045. Heater. Drain hose is 20.06. If you happen to need a drain hose, that's probably 50. Labor 150, $200 at least. Inverter board, again, when you're getting all these boards, we have already replaced a couple of boards already. 220.08. You're talking about 300. Labor 150. Talking about $350. So we've already seen about at least 3 or 4 boards in here, and this is why they're so expensive, because of the technology. You're gonna have to pay for that. All right, let's see what else. Front refacing plate, brackets, all that stuff is fine. Let's see what we got. Common parts, plastic components shouldn't cost that much. Always remember to remove these bolts, right? These are bolts to hold it in position so it doesn't move if you're shipping it or you're moving it. always remember to remove those. That could damage the appliance because it got it positioned in one position, so you want the machine to move freely as possible. Filters, like a EM filter, so this is like another filter board. This is like a filter board, $85, $60, $100 for that, $150, $250. Not a common issue, but it can go bad. Most filter boards goes directly through the actual plug, so if that shorts out, it could be completely dead. Your power cord, $31.61. Drain pump is not that expensive, and I think the reason why it's not that expensive is because this drain pump is in the it's been used before in GE appliances, so they didn't upgrade it much in comparison to what it is. So it's just a different color and stuff like that. So it's $72.45 if you need a drain pump and filter housing. Talking about $150 part, $150 labor, $300. All right, so we're going through this thing, man, to really understand the price points of these appliances. Like I said, it's gonna cost you some bread, realistically speaking. All right, let's get into this tub and motor. All right, so you might start to spend some money here. All right, so we got the inner tub that you put your clothes in. That's $311. All right, so you can see that $311. Good, they allow me to zoom in. Then you have your outer tub, right, which is $315. All right, and typically what normally happens when your washing machine drum is wearing out, right, the drum is broken, it's starting to separate, it get pushed forward and starts to rip the tub up. So it'll rip the gasket up, which is $320, which is your door boot seal. Common issue for that to get punctured, start to leak. If it's not punctured, it can leak in the front. So that's one sign that you want to look for with this particular appliance or any appliance with a front loader. Check to see if there's water leaking in the front, right? So you also have the front tub, right? You got clamps that you need to seal it. You got suspensions, all right? You got your motor that's back here as well. You got your belt that could be broken. So all the stuff that's in here, I forgot what this part is called, but it's like a wheel. I forgot what it's called. But I've replaced it before. So we're gonna get into these parts. It's gonna cost you some bread, so let's get into these parts. All right, so look, we got screws. Your suspensions, $14.81. They can break, they can wear out depending on the load inside the machine. So you want to be careful when you're loading up the appliance. All right. Let's move into some of these. The accelerator sensor. I've replaced these before in a GE appliance. From what I can remember, they can actually cause your machine to either go completely dead or just stop spinning because it monitors the speed. So a lot of these appliances are dealing with controls, dealing with sensors. So when you're dealing with control and sensors and monitoring the speed, the machine has to operate in sequences. So if the sequence is off, if it's supposed to fill and it's taking a long time for it to fill, then the machine will give you a code. If it's supposed to spin at a certain speed in order to sense the load, something is off, the machine will let you know. So the smarter they are, the more you have to pay for it. And so you have to look at it like that. The more stuff you have, the more bells and whistles, the more smart it is, the more you're going to spend. All right, let's look at this front tub. Really cheap. That's really cheap. $61.95. Not bad. Basket assembly. So this is your the basket that you put your clothes in. That's $304.40. Typically you'll need like either two guys. You can do it by yourself, but I would suggest getting a helper to do this. So you're talking about replacing the part like this. We're gonna charge you $400 for the part. Labor is gonna be at least $210. So you're talking about at least $410, something like that. Roughly right about there, minimum that you're gonna spend. Rear tub, you're talking about $209.10, right? This is the tub that's in the back. The plastic tub, because it sits in the shell. So the tub that you put your clothes in is in there, then it's covered by an eggshell. You're talking about $209.10 for that particular part, right? So I'm talking about $300 for the part. Labor is going to be the same exact thing because you got to take it apart. It's really expensive. You're talking about $300, $210. You're talking about at least $510. All right, so it's going to cost you. Gasket, right? Temporary out of stock, $104.48. right? If you happen to need that. So you're talking about $150 for the part. They're gonna charge you more than $150, but we're gonna charge you $150 for the part, $150 for the labor. You're talking about $300. Clamp, you're gonna need clamps when you replace the gaskets. All right, typically you replace the gasket that's in the front that goes over the actual door. So you're gonna have factor that in the price as well. They come together in assembly, so at least $300 is the minimum that you're gonna spend to replace this. That's just the minimum. You might spend even $400 to get it done, depending on the company that comes out. We're talking about the motor. You're looking at 21305. Again, you do have a 10-year warranty on the motor, so you want to make sure you contact GE, and whatever they charge you to install the motor, then you have to pay for the motor. You have to go through GE as well to make sure you get that credit. To get that warranty credit, you got to go through GE. All right, but they're gonna save you $213. Motor shield. Again, another clamp here. Right, so there's a clamp in the front that goes over the door, and then there's the clamp that goes over the actual tub so that it's sealed pretty tight so it does not leak water. All right, so the pulley, yeah, I should have known that. Pulley 2741. This pulley can wear out, break, not spin. That's where the belt sits on. So you want to be careful as you use that. 2741 part. We're talking about 75, labor 150, at least 225. All right, the belt probably 50. Labor, you're talking about 150. You're talking about at least $200. So the belt will, you know, I haven't replaced a belt like this in at least a year or two. So they don't really pop like that, but they do pop because it's a belt. So depending on how hard it's working, you know, it can wear it down and cause it to pop. All right, pump to hose. Right, these hoses get punctured. Right, so if you have a pin in your pocket, you can have quarters, dimes, hairpins, anything that can puncture a hole. Got to be careful because it could puncture a hole inside these, and they could leak. And of course it's 1071. Not that expensive, but you know that you're gonna pay for it. At least 50, 60 bucks. You're gonna pay for that. Then the labor 150. So you want to spend at least 200 something bucks, depending on how difficult for it to get to as well. All right, and then you got to remember this is a GE appliance. All right, let's see what else we got on here, man. Let's keep it going, keep it moving. Let's get into the actual heat pump assembly. So this is where this part of it is going to cost you some bread. This part is going to be really expensive. I'm just going to let you know off the top. So you ain't got to worry about it. It's going to already be expensive. All right, look at this. You have your whole entire evaporator here, condenser, compressor. Right, it looks like a compressor that's similar to the one that's in your car. All right, so you got your vents and lids and heater assembly, heat pumps. So you're gonna spend some money. I've already seen this, so it's gonna cost you some bread. So let's walk through it. So if you need the heat pump, which is number 401, which is the whole entire assembly, you're talking about $1553.69. All right, so yes, if you happen to need the heat pump assembly, you're talking about that type of money. They're gonna spend. It might charge you $1,800 for it. To be honest with you, because you got to make some type of money off of it, and then you're gonna probably, you know, it's a couple $100 with labor. So let's say if the labor is $1,800, the part is $1,800, labor $250. Like you're talking about at least $2,000, $2,050. It's gonna cost you some bread. Because the work that you have to do. At this point, you might want to consider getting it replaced. If it's not under warranty, you might want to consider it. If you don't have an extended warranty, you might want to consider it. Alright, so filters, you can get this stuff yourself, $29.09. You don't need nobody to replace that. The biggest part, you got your fan assembly, $349.80 if you happen to need the assembly for the fan. Talking about at least $400 bucks. Labor $150. You're talking about $550 to $600 to replace that fan. And like I said, you're gonna get it fixed because it's cheaper to get to buy that appliance again. All right, so the most important component here you're talking about is the fan assembly and the heater assembly. All right, heat pump assembly. All right, so let's look at this, factor this thing in. Alright, so for this portion of the video, we're going to give you an overall review. Let you know exactly how we feel about this 2-in-1 GE washing machine and dryer combo. All right, let's talk about the functions and the features. Man, this is like one of my favorite parts. I love to talk about this. Let's talk about some of the things that we like about this appliance as well. Again, it's a 2-in-1 unit. We like the combination of the washer and the dryer. 2, it's also ventless, right? So that's one of the things that you want to think about as well. You don't have to have an exhaust vent that leads to the back of it that shoots outside in this dryer. All right, so that's another good thing there. Fast airflow and drying system. All right, so that's really good there. Energy savings, you can save some energy. Like I said, it's ventless. It says 50% more energy efficient drying. All right, we talk about adaptive smart dispense, right? It's a smart dispenser that allows you to just add and fill up the cup instead of constantly every time you want to go out there and wash clothes, you got to fill up the dispenser every time. You don't have to do that. It has the microband technology that provides antimicrobial protection on the gasket, dispenser, and draining system to prevent odors and ensuring your combo stays fresh and clean. All right, so we like that feature. A large capacity, 4.8 cubic feet. We love the capacity. All right, it's really big. It's a really big standard size front load washing machine that has a heating system in it as well. Smart features powered by Smart HQ, right? So you can activate the appliance, you get notifications, you can see the features, you can download special cycles, select your detergents, get notification, remote cycle, remote start, all that good stuff. You already know it's a high-tech appliance. Easy access, a lint filter system. All right, you know, that's fine, that's cool. I'm not really impressed by a lint filter system. Just clean the lint, make sure you clean it every time. All right, sanitize with Oxy, remove 99% of bacteria. All right, so you can use that if you'd like dealing with allergies, stuff like that. This will help you with that particular appliance. It's also have an Eco Cool, save energy with a specific design, cold water wash, dry cycle that delivers cleaning performance. All right, you have your My setting. You can store wash and dry cycle settings for later use. All right, so that's one of the benefits there. You're talking about the wash and the dry. It said cycle preferences are stored and selected and deselected with the touch of a button. All right, so when we're talking about a fully loaded appliance, when you're talking about everything that you can possibly think of in this particular appliance, smart. Modern day appliance, we really like it. You already know what grade we're gonna give it. We're gonna give it a 5. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. Man, we love the functions and features on this particular appliance. All right, so we're gonna keep this joint moving and talk about the other appliances that you see there. All right, let's keep it going so we can finish the rest of this grade. GE stands for generally expensive. These components are going to really cost you some money. On average, the quotes that we've given you is $400 or $500 to repair this particular appliance. As far as the grade we're going to give this particular appliance, man, I might have to give it a 4. And the reason why I'm giving it a 4, one, we really like the appliance, but at the same time, some of these parts are expensive. All right, with it being so expensive, with it being $2,400, if you got that money to spend almost $3 grand on an appliance, you're gonna spend some money in order to get it repaired. When you're talking about technology, this is not just this particular appliance, it's all appliances. When you're dealing with appliances like this, it's gonna cost you some money. You're gonna pay for this. This is what is expected when you buy something like this. It's like buying a luxury car, but you can't get upset when you purchase a luxury car because you have to understand that you're gonna pay luxury prices. All right, so when you're talking about an appliance with heat pumps and compressors and condensers and it sounds like a fridge, you're gonna spend some money. All right, the parts, most of the parts are available, and that's one of the things that we do like, right, as well. As far as the compressor and the heat pumps, I'm not going to say this is a common issue because this appliance is fairly new in the game, so there's not a lot of work being done on this at the moment. So I can't even give you realistic issues that typically go bad outside of the gasket, front door seal that's broken, the drain pump, the water valve, dispensers, probably like control panel, control boards. Like everything else outside of it, it's pretty, you know, pretty normal. So but like I said, you're gonna spend some money because it's a GE product. You're gonna spend some money on it, so we're gonna give it a grade of 4. All right, so we're not gonna go too crazy with it, of course, but we like it. We give you a grade of 4. All right, so let's go and check out the rest of this video. We out. Peace. All right, so for this portion of the video, we're going to focus on the warranty, the manufacturer warranty. All right, so let's dive into the manufacturer warranty with this GE 2-in-1 wash machine and dryer combination. All right, so of course you can go to geappliance.com. Typically what you can also do, you can scan the right where the model number is, you can scan the QR code so that you'll be able to see exactly where you can register the appliance. You can also download the owner's manual as well so that you can actually see this information. So that's always good for you to have access to. And you can also go to ge.com if you have any questions or you want service. You can always call them at 1-800-GE-CARES as well. So let's go into this. Of course, you have your standard 1-year manufacturer warranty, both parts and labor. It says any part of the unit which fails due to a defect in material or workmanship during this limited 1-year warranty, we will also provide free of charge all labor and related service to replace the defective part. All right, so that's standard. In addition to that, you're also getting a 5-year warranty. It says the sealed heat pump drying system. All right, so again, when you're dealing with this all-in-one unit, it's not the first time that a wash machine has a compressor in it. This happened, I think, a few years ago. I'm not sure exactly what brand it is that I was working on, that I was able to take an appliance apart to really see the compressor. You have a condenser, so it sounds like it's like a refrigerator, but it's technically not, but you do have the same components inside of it. All right, so it has a compressor, condenser, evaporator, and all connecting tubing, which fails due to a defect in materials or workmanship. During this additional 4-year limited warranty, you will be responsible for any labor and related service costs. So they're only covering the parts for 5 years for the heat pump drying system. All right, so it does have a compressor and everything else. Like I said, and the crazy thing about this particular appliance, you're gonna have to have the right people to be able to work on it. All right, so yeah, we can work on it because we work directly with GE, so that's good for us. All right, 10 years. It also has the motor. It says it should, if it should fail due to a defect in materials or workmanship, during this additional 9-year limited warranty, you will be responsible for any labor and related service cost. All right, so 10-year warranty on the motor, and doing the additional 9 years limited warranty. So we like that as well. You're getting a 1-year, a 5-year, and a 10-year warranty on this stuff. Of course, it always go into details of stuff that's not covered by the actual warranty as well. So these are things that you want to be able to get yourself familiarized with, so you know exactly what's covered and what's not covered. Again, you can always get this information, download the owner's manual as well. Depending on what area you're in, if you're in Canada, some of the same warranty features still applies, right? So you can download that, pause the video as well, screenshot it, do whatever it is that you want to do. And we're also going to put it in the description box as well, so that you'll be able to have that information. All right, so just want to scroll through, just make sure we went through everything. You have GE websites, register your appliance, schedule extended warranties, all this stuff, remote connectivity, parts and accessory, contact GE, man. So you have all this good information that's downloaded in the owner's manual. All right, so if we're gonna give a grade to the warranty for this particular appliance, man, you know we got to give it the best that we got. We're gonna give it a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we're gonna give it the top grade as far as the warranty, because you're getting a 1-year warranty on everything, parts and labor, 5-year warranty on the compressor, condenser, evaporator, just the part, the labor will be covered. You're also gonna have a 10-year warranty on the motor as well. The part to be covered, but the label would not. And then of course you have all the information that you can get that you would need, and any owner's manual, extended warranty service, and all that stuff. Make sure that you link up with GE if you need to do that at geappliance.com. All right, so we're gonna shoot the rest of this video, man, get into the actual overall grade of this appliance. We out. Peace. All right, so for this portion of the video, we're gonna focus on the price. How much it's gonna cost you. Might cost you a little, might cost you a lot. Either way, it's gonna cost you. So when we're talking about the price for this 2-in-1 washer and dryer combination from GE, we're gonna go to Lowe's to give you the best price that they have available at the moment. Originally, you're looking at $28.99. You're talking about at least $3,000 for this appliance. They're saving you about $400, so they're dropping it down to $24.98. As far as the price that you'll pay for this appliance, again, remember it's a wash machine and a dryer combination, and it also can fit in a unique spot as well that gives you all the space that you would need as far as the size of the tub being 4.8 cubic feet. So that's roughly how much you're going to be spending for this appliance at Lowe's. Let's jump to Best Buy. All right, so let's look at Best Buy. You have different options, right? You're talking about $28.99. Like I said, that's the original price. Right now, you're going to spend $24.99 for this particular appliance. All right, so roughly the same thing between Lowe's and Best Buy. They do have an open box, which is shocking, but you have an open box that you can get. And this is what I tell customers all the time. If you're able to find an appliance with an open box, just go to the sticker, read the sticker so you know exactly what's wrong with the appliance. You can also ask if the warranty still applies. That's a good question to ask. If the manufacturer warranty still apply, check out the warranty portion of the video where you'll be able to see that. So you're looking at, for an open box, $1967.99. So like I stated before, as you check the appliance, if it's an open box, check for the warranty, check for dents, ask any questions that's on the sticker. It normally gives you the reason why it's there. Either it's a scratch and dent, it's been used, the customer didn't like it, and like I said, it just could be an open box and somebody didn't want it and they just returned it. All right, so that's one of the things that you want to think about. But again, you're saving almost a decent amount of bread. If you're looking at the original price, $28.99, you're close to almost $1,000 in savings. So I would consider the open box, depending on where it is and where you're located. It's not a bad idea. All right, jumping into Home Depot. Originally $28.99, now you're getting it for $24.98, saving yourself 14%, which is $400. All right, so when you're talking about this particular appliance, everything that comes with it as far as the functions and features, is being an all-in-one unit, the uniqueness of the space that it can give you just from having this one appliance. It's running now for about 2 hours or so instead of your standard 6 hours that you might get from some of these all-in-one units. It's an amazing appliance, man. So as far as the price, this is the going rate for this particular appliance. If you can get it cheaper, then great. Right now it's kind of difficult unless it's an open box to get it at a reasonable price. So $24.98 when you're talking about $3 grand for this all-in-one unit. You're talking about, if you split it in half and the washer's $15, the dryer's $15, and you're talking about $3,000 for this particular unit. In my opinion, of course, we got to give you the price grade. So overall, we give you the price grade. I would say we give it about a 3. We're not quite impressed with it as far as the price that you're going to spend for this appliance. Again, it's $3 grand. You can probably get a washer and dryer separate from that for less than that. Right? So, but like I said, it's all in one unit. So you're talking about $24.98 for this appliance. So just keep that in mind. It's an all in one unit. So we're going to give it an average price of a 3. Like I said, it's alright. It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, I think it's a little high, but it's okay because of everything that comes with it. So I'm gonna just let it live. So we're gonna give it a 3. Finish up the rest of this grade. So let's go over everything that we've already discussed. The parts, we're gonna give it a 4. The price, we're gonna give it a 3. The warranty, we give it a 5. Functions and features, we give it another 5. So when we're adding everything up, we're gonna give it a totality of a 17 divided by 4. We're gonna give it a 4.25. Right, and that's how we really feel about this particular appliance. As far as the grade that we're gonna give it, we're gonna give it a 4.25. We really like this appliance. As far as everything that you get with it, the storage, the 2-hour cycle. Check out the functions and features. We break that thing down, man, like no other. We love doing it. So you can wash and dry within 2 hours. You have smart, we can get notifications on it. You can also remote start on it. You got Wi-Fi connect on it. Like I said, the only difference or the only thing that is normal on this particular appliance is the price, because it's almost $3 without the savings that you'll get. It is fairly new, so you got to give it some time for more people to purchase it, and the longer it's out there and more people purchase it, the lower the price is going to be. You know how it is. It takes some time for that stuff to happen, but we really like this appliance, so that's the best grade we can give it. I really thought I was going to give it like at least a 4.5 or something like that, but you know, like I said, looks can be deceiving, but you know, either way, we really recommend this appliance. Giving it a 4.25. I think that's pretty modest. I think that's pretty good. Well done, GE. We recommend this appliance. You already know I'm your boy Richie Rich at Consumer Appliance Support. You help me, I help you, we both help each other. Till next time, I'm out of here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm out. Peace.
Mm-hmm.